Okay folks, so welcome back. So you saw me cut the hinges in a bit earlier. Okay, they're all in now. Okay, now I'm up to the puttying in the glass, but I wanted to show you a trade secret. Okay, so this is a good one for you guys. So if you want to learn about making your own putties as opposed to buying them in, I mean here in France it's very difficult to get putty, and sometimes you have to go a long way to get it, and it's not like what you're used to or what I'm used to in the UK. It's a slightly different white putty. But let me talk about how I get to a putty like this, with the colour light like that to match the oak, if you like I've done on the porch. So basically I'll use a boiled linseed oil with raw linseed oil mixture. I'll do a 50-50%, okay? So raw boiled is mixed in there. Okay, I have some other ingredients. The two most important ingredients is the oil and the chalk. Okay, so this is calcium carbonate or chalk whiting, right, which is a very fine, very ultra fine powder. Technically it's a lime, but anyway, it's I don't want to go back into that one. It's a bit a lot to explain, but anyway. Them two pieces there, them two materials there would make you basic putty. Okay, so you'd have glazing putty from them two there, and a ratio would be 4 times weight to 1 times weight the oil. So it's by weight, not volume. Okay, so the weight of this is 1, and 4 times the weight of calcium carbonate is 2. It's 4, sorry, it's 4, but that's the second ingredient. But to take that up a level or two, that will give you basic white putty, okay? But to take it up a couple of levels, say you want to put a colour in it, you would put some oil colours. Okay, so I just use some oil colours here. I use this flesh tone. It's either that or white, just to bring it up a little bit brighter. This is to get your colour, your browns and your ochres colours. Okay, they're oil paints, not acrylic. Okay, so they're oils, and what you would do is you'd mix them in with your oil, and you mix up the colour first. Don't try and put it into the mix when it's a dry, semi-dry mix. All right, because you need to make that liquid in there. Okay, so then add that to that. Also, taking it up a few levels, if you put this in zinc oxide, this zinc oxide powder, this goes in by a couple of teaspoons per kilo or 2 pound weight. Okay, and that there, basically what that does, that inhibits mold growth, stops your putties going so dingy and dull, like, you know, it stops any mold growth in it. Basically it just keeps it fresh and stops things growing. And then the other one, which is a controversial one, is this one. Okay, so this is lead oxide, or I call it red lead powder. It's very heavy. Okay, and like it says on the tin, beware. Okay, so you do not want to be putting this with your hands bare or no face mask. Okay, because this is lead basically with a colour. Now the reason this goes in is it helps the putty to stiffen up harder. It also makes the putty much more durable for the weather, so it lasts longer. Because if you have just a basic putty, which you'll probably buy nowadays, is this and this only, within a year or so it's all cracked and you're refilling it and scraping it out a year or two later. This one you won't be. What this does, where this is used a lot, is in the shipping industry or the boating, wood boat builders of the past. They would have done their caulking in between the planks, and then they would have bitumen, poured a bitumen over the top of the hemp rope, and then on top of that, to fill it and finish it off, they would have put a putty made of this. and that would have been underwater as well, so that would have been that durable. So let me just give you a quick recap on that. That is a 4:1 ratio by weight. That is a couple of actually that is, let me just get that right now, that is 4 tablespoons, bigger spoons, yeah, the big ones, 4 tablespoons to that ratio of, say, a kilo or 2 pound weight, and then a couple of teaspoons of this, all right, and then your paint colours. And then what you do is, like I said, you mix your oil paints into your oil, mix up the colour, that gets the colour, disperses through, and then you put your dry mixes together, and then they're kneaded. Takes a lot of work, it isn't easy, but good things have to be worked on, you know, you have to put a bit of effort into them, and that is part of the reason why these have died out, I suppose, the old ways. But the old ways are the best because they last a lot longer, but they've died out because people don't like to put the graft in now and do the work. Anyway, so I hope you get an idea of that. Any questions, just fire them along to me. But I'm now going to get over there, cut some glass in there, and then start puttying them in. Okay, so we're cutting some glass now. I've cleaned all this glass up. This is come out of old window frames, the double glaze units. If you look back in my videos, I stripped down double glazed panels, cut the centre out and cleaned them up. A little bit of white spirit gets all the black rubber that sticks these together, gets it off instantly. So all I do is have a straight edge, a T, and I know that this is the longest, the shortest way, so I need to get a 12 out of that way. So this way I need to get an 8 3/4. Let's try and give you that in 220, or what's that? Would that be 22 centimeters? I can't remember now anyway. But basically, put it on there once. That's all you need to do is with your cutter. Don't go over it a few times. Sometimes you might miss the end, so you can just give it a little tick, but normally you don't. Okay. Turn the glass here. I'll give it a little tap. Just help it on its way. There you go. Cut glass. So that's one side. I'll put this out of the way for now. Sorry about that. Right, and then I'll use my other square, which is my carpentry square, to give it the final length cut, and that is 12. There's a little chip on this glass from the old glass and here, so I'm going to cut that waste as waste side. And also, if you know your measurement is 12 long, then you reduce it by an 1/8. What would that be in metric? So that's 305, and I'll reduce that down to 301 mil. And what that does is that allows for the cutter, the thickness of this. Okay, here. It's not like joinery, you don't have to be so precise with glass cutting. You just need to be close, a couple of mil either side. And again, in your cutter you should have one of these ones with a tube in that you fill up with spirit, and it feeds the cutter and makes the cut in the glass nice and clean. And that's another thing. Then you've got a little weight or head on the end of it for tapping. If I keep tapping that will just fall off. Like, see? Hope you saw that. That just falls off. It's nice and tidy. Okay. What you'll find with old glasses though, the older it gets, the more it's harder to cut clean. Okay, you can cut it, but cutting it clean, and I don't know if you can see on the edges here, but you can see like little bumps, tiny little bumps of glass. That's where it's not cut cleanly. Okay, so this glass is probably 20 or 30 years old, so it's, you know, it's gone old, as they say. And another little fact, glass is a fluid. It's always moving. You wouldn't believe it, but it is actually a fluid, technically. Right, so that's ready to go and do. I'm going to test that. You won't be able to see that on camera. Ah, that fits like a glove. Perfect. Right, so I've got another one there. That goes back over here. I'll carry on doing that now. I'll cut these glasses out and then I'll start to do some puttying. Okay folks, so showed you how to make the putty. Well, I told you how to make the putty. I've already made it up. Just before you're going to putty a piece of glass in, which I'm going to show you now, just before you do this, knead up your putty, especially when you start putting zinc oxide or lead, red lead or other additives. These putties go off a little bit quicker, so you need to sort of keep them kneaded, keep them warm. All right, so the first thing we do is we bed the glass into the seat, okay, of the rebate. So all I do is just I put some putty in quickly with my finger, run it down. So just follow along for a minute while I get this in. And if you can get it right, all you're doing is you're feeding in with your hand and pushing in with your other hand. And then when you come the other way, it's awkward to come back like this, so you just use your other hand. I'm lucky because I'm ambidextrous, so I can hammer, saw, screwdriver, do everything with both hands, which makes life a lot easier when you're a carpenter, especially when you're in awkward positions up in the roof spaces and that, and you're trying to cut with a saw or hammer. You need to switch hands anyway, so I can do it with both hands. So I put a bed in there. Normally I would just do the whole lot of these and then put all the glasses in and then do the next stage, right? Always have a cloth with me. Keep it nice and clean, the hands as clean as you can. Then we put the glass on, okay? I like to, rather than just push that down, okay, I like to put the cloth over the top of the glass, put my hands spread out and push. And bed it in properly. Alright, don't be scared. The only time you wouldn't do that is if you was using anything under 3mm glass. That's a 4mm glass, so you can do it float plate. Okay, now you can see that squeezed all the way out, all the way round. Okay, I can just check it is, and it is. It's there, a little bit there. And then what I do is I use these. I call them sprigs, or glazing sprigs. Okay, so they're they lay them on the glass flat. Okay, and you point the pointed edge to the wood. And basically, you just get a chisel, lay it flat on there, put your hand behind, and it holds, it grips it. Do that all four. Make sure they go all the way back to the shoulders, which is these bits here. And then that has got a proper grip, plus it allows for a putty joint. Okay, just going to get this one, I have to cover the camera for a second. There we go. Okay, so that glass is in, that's locked in there now, that won't fall out. Okay, next job I'll do is just knead up the putty again a little bit. It's a little bit dry, it needs a little bit more work, but I'm going to go with it. Okay, and then I'll push the putty in. Hope you can see that. Now I'm coming the other way because I'm on top. Okay, it's as quick as that. I'll switch hands for you. And again, as quick as that. Okay, and then on this one, this is a little bit awkward because you're coming at yourself, so sort of lean over a bit, and we're nearly there. So a few seconds to do with that. Okay, that's the putty pushed in. All right, now normally what I would do just let me put the putty down. Normally what I'll do is I'll turn the door over and I'll cut the back edge of the putty line to give me a good eyesight through to where the timber is on the other side. But I'm going to just show you, for the sake of the camera, rather than doing all that now, is how I cut the putties. So I start into the corner. I use a hard chisel. Some guys like a flexible chisel and they do it like this. Okay, and that's nice if you've got the white putty that's very soft. Okay, if you've got a putty that's very, very soft, then you can get away with that. But you can still do it with this. I keep this surface shiny. It's an old chisel. It's broken off. I've had it since 1985, I think. I've got this, and it just got worn out, and I use it for this now. Anyway, and I've used this for 20 or 30 years like this. So basically, I push it into the corner. So I've pushed into the corner. I'm judging the line, and then all I do is give a nice steady pull, keeping that angle up and out, and then you get a nice clean, I mean I just stabbed that, but you get a nice clean putty line down there. Okay, I'm going to redo this bit because I just stabbed it with a chisel, and that's it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to fuss that no more. That's done. You can see on the back side of the glass that there's still the putty squeezed out. I've got to cut that off, right? Actually, what I'll do is, if I can, I'll lift the door and just show you. So I would go like this, and the door's the other way. There you go. Nice clean putty line, and keep it simple. You should be able to do a good glazer. I knew of a good glazer when I lived in England, and he would do 60 of these panes from start to finish a day. And I believe there is some that can do it more. My best is around 50 I can do a day of these. So you know, you make your money if you like, if you're a glazer, and that's including cutting them, by the way. But anyway, so I'll just show you one more. I'll come into the corner. Hopefully you can see that on camera. Nice straight steady pull. There's no flex in the tool, and it's leveling off everything nice and smoothly. There you go, nice and clean. And the only time you go back to this now is into these corners. Okay, so you come back, dress the corner out, dress the corner back. There you go, you've got a perfect nice corner in there of your putty. Hopefully you can see that. Just this side, okay. Anyway, that's how it goes. I'm going to get on and do all these, and then this will be ready to hang. I've got the hinges all cut out now, so I've just got to lift it in space and put the screws in. And then Tracy can oil the door. And I'll just show you one other thing quickly. This is on the wrong side because this is hinge side, alright, but that's the handle set we're having. Okay, so it's you can get the theme again. Fleur de lis. Okay, it's our homage to France. Everything that we're putting in fleur de lis is because we're respecting the fact it is France we're in. That will go something like that, if you can see that. There'll be a keyhole in there, lock and everything. It's not on this side, it's the other side, so that actually is the back end of that, the other side of that side over there. But I think they look very nice against the oak. Tell me what you think.